how do you construct pitch? I know that's also a loaded question because it depends on what kind of pitch it is. But like, let's say a screenwriter is going to go into a pitch meeting with, a potential producer or studio. How do you construct the pitch? Like, because some of them will go in there and talk for 30 minutes. You're like, nope.
Yep.
So how do you do it?
And I talk a great deal in the book about different kinds of pitches, different kinds of projects, different environments. So the pitch for an on the studio lot meeting, an official pitch meeting that might be 30 minutes long, where everybody in the room has read your writer's Bible, your series Bible. They might have even read the screenplay. Like sometimes you go in and you're pitching after the fact where everybody's read everything. And then other times you're doing a pitch fest event or virtual pitch fest thing where it's 5 minutes. It's a total stranger and you got to, do your whole elevator pitch and don't even have time to build rapport. So I think it depends on what you're pitching. Character-driven projects are going to be pitched quite differently than a plot-driven project. A high-concept project is going to be quite differently pitched, something that might be a famous novel or a famous life story, somewhere where we have some point of reference. That's going to be quite differently pitched than some original worldview of like a Juno, right? And it's a whole, you have to know the world and the person. And so it depends on what it is you're pitching. Same thing with a pilot. A pilot for whether it's a comedy or drama, it's going to be very much about that driving protagonist because it might be a serial, it might be episodic, who knows? But are we going to want to tune into this character week after week? And then in the book, I go through everything, including reality TV, game shows, documentaries, everything. So it depends on, too, do you know anything about the people you're pitching to? Sometimes who you're pitching to, you can Google them and you have a good feel for who's going to be in the room. I give strategies for how to find out who's going to be in the room. Sometimes you're completely prepared and who's in the room has changed by the time you get there. Like I had a deal with NBC when Comcast was acquiring NBC Universal. So I had a 4-year deal and you would go in and who you thought you were pitching to and you'd done all your research on was different. And I even went in and pitched one day and they had to call it off because of the stock shares and who they were acquiring and they couldn't hear, there's all sorts of stuff going on. Same thing with an investor. Are they legit? Are they real? Are they not? It's just sometimes hard to know who you're pitching to. So you want to make sure that you're prepared to kind of lead off with some top notes. I often think of like an overture in a musical or an opera. It's like boom, 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 skipping a rock across the water so that they get a sense that there's going to be gunplay, there's going to be some fight choreography, there's going to be this epic romance. We get a sense of the type of things we're going to be seeing, and then you do a deep dive into the character that you're pitching to, maybe the visuals and cinematics to a director, maybe why there's a great affinity target audience to an investor. It depends on what you're pitching to, why. Who and why. And that's another thing I talk about is like in journalism, the who, what, where, when, why. Like think about those things. And so in the book, I did what I thought was a lot of fun, and I've had a lot of readers read it and they loved it. I'm not tooting my own horn. I just was really thought every minute, what did I wish I had 20 years ago? What do storytellers need to have? And so I did all these worksheets and spreadsheets, and here's how to break it down. I have some stuff from Blake Snyder in there that would Save a Cat and all the genres, and here's an approach for log lines. And if you don't like that, no worries. Here's how to break down a tagline. Here's how to use irony. Here's how all the different ways of going from log line to synopsis to pitch deck to video, all the different ways, because you might have to go backwards and forwards. And that's a big premise of the book is as you refine and hone your marketing materials, it becomes real glaring where your problems are in your script, right? It becomes real clear. So you're rewriting and developing as you're marketing and as you're pitching. And when you pitch and people are confused, it's probably a problem in the script, or a missed opportunity. When someone laughs when they're not supposed to, there's a gap they're waiting for that you should go back and rewrite your script. And not that you should, be influenced by all that, but it's it's not art until someone encounters it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you think is in your head might be quite different. Like, I don't know if I told you this in the last one, but I had a thriller class with Neil Hicks at UCLA that I loved. And he gave us this exercise in class, and it was, what do you want? So one character asked the other character, what do you want? And my brother, his wife had just come out of the closet. So this had rocked the world of our family. And so I wrote, what do you want? A divorce. Because to me, it was a very melodramatic, poignant thing. So I wrote this a little exercise, and I wrote a divorce, and I did this dialogue back and forth. And then he asked us to read it. So here's my family processing this challenging thing. And as I'm reading it, the class is in hysterics laughing, like it was a spoof or comedy. And I was too embarrassed to, I could have cried with how embarrassed I was, but I just kept reading it. And at the end, Neil Hicks said, that is some of the best comedy writing we've ever heard. So they talk about pain plus time, right? Well, I hadn't even had the time to see the humor in it. But it just shows you that what you think you're expressing, somebody else might be getting something quite different based on their worldview or the juxtaposition of what you've put together. So it's all about your delivery and their discovery. And is there a gap there? And is that a missed opportunity, or do you need to refine your presentation?